This is the Bates Bobcast, our weekly podcast where we take a look at the week that was in Bates athletics. My name is Aaron Morse, and this week we are recapping the first week of spring sports. Plus, we talk to our Bobcats of the week and look back at the NESCAC championships for men's swimming. All that and more coming up on the Bates Bobcast. The men's swimming team finished 6th at the NESCAC championships over the weekend with 854.5 points, well ahead of 7th place Middlebury. It is the Bates men's team's 5th consecutive year of placing among the top 6 teams at the NESCAC championships, and the first time they have done so without a diver on the roster. Seniors Riley Ewing and Teddy Pender led the way for Bates, with both swimmers earning 3 all NESCAC honors. Pender overcame a stomach virus leading up to the meet, and he is our male Bobcat of the week.
My week started off pretty good. I was feeling amazing in the water, to be honest. And then sort of Tuesday I wasn't feeling good, and Wednesday I wound up in the ER with a sort of a flu and a stomach bug. And then somehow I managed to get on the bus on Thursday to go to Bowdoin and swim a little bit Thursday night, and then hop in the water to race on Friday. So it's kind of lucky to end up racing, to be honest.
Well, yeah, when you're in the ER on Wednesday, are you thinking to yourself, I may not be able to swim, or are you just so miserable you're not even thinking about that?
Oh, I'm just thinking about how I can get better.
Yeah.
If I couldn't have swum, how could I help the guys a little bit? The guys are my main concern. Getting better would happen by itself, and the team is my first concern.
Probably helped that the meet was so close to here, right?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. We've been on bus rides to Middlebury, Wesleyan, and Williams, and those are more than a few hours. So it was pretty grateful to just hop on a bus for 30 to 35 minutes and get off and be able to lie back down and relax a little bit. So it was really nice, to be honest.
So when you got there Thursday and swam a little bit, did you feel like, okay, now I can do this?
Not really, no. I didn't know I could do much at all till about Friday morning. I tried to do something fast on Thursday, but we were kind of held back a bit for that and just let my body keep recovering. So I didn't really know if I could do very well until about Friday morning. And then I just sort of gradually got better as the meet went on, which was nice to see.
Well, you started off right away with a new school record in the 50-yard fly, right?
Yeah, I took it from my hero, Matt Gagne. He was a senior my freshman year. So it's kind of nice to see things come full circle with that. So yeah.
And then I understand you also swam a B-cut in the 100-yard fly. Is that correct?
In the 100-yard freestyle, yeah.
100-yard freestyle, yeah.
So if one of our relays gets invited, then I could swim that at nationals. And that's all I really needed to do. That's all I wanted to do this weekend.
Yeah, gotcha. And the relays are right there, possibly to be selected, right?
Yeah, we have 2 relays that could be selected. So I think there's a total of 5 guys that could end up going. But fingers crossed, we'll find out Wednesday or officially Thursday.
Excellent. And what did you learn from your experience last year at nationals that you hope to apply this year?
It's just a lot of fun. There's no pressure on you to do anything. There are guys there who are fast, and they're the ones who are going to get beat if somebody's going to get beat, and it's how many places you can move up. So there's no pressure. It's great to watch a bunch of fun and fast swimming. It's just an amazing time.
Peter was saying one of the relays, when you entered the pool, you guys were in 6th and you ended up in 3rd. Is that correct? Big gainer?
I think he's talking about the 400 freestyle relay.
Yeah.
The last one. I think we went in about 6th, and I came through the 50 wall. I went, wow, I've gone past a couple of people. I just tried to hold on and catch this one last guy from Amherst, and I think we touched him by 4 100ths. So it was a good race.
Yeah, relay is extra exciting because you can make up ground like that.
Yeah, it's fun to see the exchange of leads and relays, and it's definitely something to get hyped up about behind the blocks because you're never out of the race. At some point, somebody could have a bad start, somebody get disqualified. There's a lot of waves at Bowdoin, so you got to swim tactically too. Yeah. The relay is always something to get excited about, and it's always fun to swim them, especially when you've got 2 other seniors on the team, and all the guys on the relay were my training partners, so it's just great to have that one last swim with all the guys.
You would think every pool would be the same, but I guess they're not, right?
I mean, you got different pools with different depths. Some pools might have 2 lane ropes in between each lane. Then you got less waves. Deeper pools are usually faster too. But each pool has a different feel to it. But at the end of the day, a pool's got 2 walls, it's got water in it, and you can swim fast no matter what.
You touched on your teammates. I mean, I know Riley Ewing, another great year for him, right? What have you seen from him?
Riley's been solid all year. And my hat goes off to him. He's absolutely outstanding, consistent, strong, a great leader, and a really close friend.
You and Riley and the rest of the senior class, I mean, you guys have really helped propel the men's swimming program forward. Have you thought about that at all in terms of the legacy you're leaving or anything like that?
Not really, no. I haven't really thought about things like that. But at the end of the day, it's not what happens after we leave. It's not who can replace us. It's what can everybody do to continue to improve the program. I don't think there's ever been a year when somebody went, "Oh, we need to replace that guy." It's not the point to replace that guy. We'll never really replace them. He was our friend. You're already our friend. So the point is, what can we do to make up that ground? And how can we help incoming first years to achieve what they want to achieve and fit into our goals as well? So it's all more of a family feel, and the idea that not one person has to do everything, but everybody has to do a little bit, and that's important.
I have one more question for you. You guys were wearing like baseball jerseys or something. What was going on there?
Yeah. So we got some old baseball jerseys that looked absolutely amazing. And yeah, they're fantastic, and it really made us look like a team. And we were getting looks, and we were getting questions about, where'd you get those from? Those are really cool. Can I get one too? No, this one's mine. Yeah, they're fantastic, and we were really blessed to get those.
Did Peter come up with those, or how did that happen?
It must have been Coach. He's a huge baseball fan. I think it's through him.
Excellent. Well, Teddy Pender, I'm Bobcat of the Week. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Aaron.
Both swimming teams will find out this week about who will compete in the upcoming NCAA Championships, March 21 through 24 in Indianapolis, Indiana. Senior captains Sally Cisse and Jack Kiley made headlines for the Bobcat track and field programs, with Cisse breaking her own program record in the triple jump by soaring 40 feet 3.5 inches. Meanwhile, Kiley ran the fastest indoor mile by a Bobcat since 1984, Sunday at the BU Last Chance Invitational, clocking in at 4 minutes, 9.14 seconds. Both appear set to compete along with some of their teammates at the NCAA Championships coming up March 9th and 10th in Birmingham, Alabama. The women's lacrosse team opened its season by traveling to Colorado College and defeating the number 21 nationally ranked Tigers by a score of 19-14 on Thursday. Camille Bell-Tate scored 4 goals, and Annie Duke, Katie Allard, and Summer Diaz added 3 goals each. Duke's 3 goals were a career high, and the senior added a career high 2 assists to go along with 4 ground balls. And for that, Annie Duke is our female Bobcat of the Week. Annie, first of all, you're from Colorado. First game of the year at Colorado. So how exciting was that for you to be an hour away from where you grew up?
It was super exciting. It was fun for my family too, for us to come out there instead of them having to travel out here, which was really fun.
How often do they get to see you play?
Well, I have a twin sister who goes to Hamilton, so they always fly out for the Hamilton-Bates matchup. So usually they're only here for 2 or 3 games this season.
Obviously the game went really well. What was working so well for you out there on the field?
Well, I'm healthy again, which helps. And I don't know, I guess it was fun being in my home state and knowing my family was there. And I was just excited to play senior year, have nothing to lose, so I played with intensity.
So what's been the process like? I know you were hurt your sophomore year, came back your junior year a little bit, but trying to get back to full health.
Yeah, so actually I had a hip surgery my freshman summer, and then I was injured and then was back for 2 weeks and tore my ACL, which was a big bummer. So I was injured for about 2 years and did just a bunch of PT to get back and get strong again.
How do you feel now? 100%?
I'm feeling 100%. I'm feeling good, which is great.
Great. So as a senior, what are some of the goals you've set in your mind maybe for this season?
I guess not to have any like regrets and just put it all out on the field and I guess try my hardest and make up for some injured time or some time loss that I had during my injuries.
Sure, and then I know some of the rules are different this year. How's that impacted the game so far? I mean, through one game, what have you noticed?
It's a lot faster, so you don't have to stop on the whistle anymore, so you can just get down the field and mark up faster, which makes it easier in transition. It's a lot more fun and fast, but there's also a shot clock, but I guess it doesn't really make a difference on how fast we're scoring and stuff, so it's been good so far.
What was it like to see the team do so well on offense like that?
It was a lot of fun. A bunch of different people scored, and a lot of people had a lot of goals too, so that was fun. Summer Diaz, a freshman, killed it. She had 3 goals, which was fun to see.
Yeah, it's always good to see the newcomers do well, right?
Yeah, it's super fun.
So now the team has a couple games this week as well. I know you get a challenge. You play Wednesday and then you play Saturday. I know that'll be a challenge with Middlebury, right?
Yeah. The first time we've played, my first time playing Middlebury this early in the season. Usually it's a lot later, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
How has the team come together with like the limited practice time you get before the season?
We're definitely nervous about that playing Colorado College because they've been practicing with their coach for a month, where we've only been practicing before our game for like 4 or 5 days. But we do a lot of practice in the off season with our captains, and so it worked out well, better than we were hoping.
You touched on your family being able to make the trip there. Did it feel like could you hear their support from the crowd?
Yeah, I could. My mom likes to yell really loud.
Great. And then, I mean, in terms of this season, I mean, after last year, what are some of the focus the coaching staff has emphasized and the team has as well about what is key to success this year?
So all the NESCAC teams are good, and usually they're close, like 1 or 2 goal games, so I guess just winning those instead of, because last year we lost a lot of those, so I guess just winning those games.
Yeah, Brett mentioned that in his pre-season interview. There were so many close games last year, right? Was that pretty frustrating? Or?
Yeah, it's always frustrating because it's a pretty even match. It's just like a few mistakes that determine who's the winner.
What's it like having your former teammate, Mariah, as an assistant coach?
Oh, it's awesome. She knows so much about the game, and she knows us really well, so it's been really awesome.
So you're a senior now, but take me back when you were deciding for colleges. Coming from Colorado, how did you decide to come out here to Maine to go to Bates?
Well, Brett reached out to me, and I was looking at NESCAC schools, and I knew I wanted to leave the state of Colorado and come out east, and then I did a visit and loved it, so I just decided to come here.
And lacrosse is known as like an East Coast sport stereotypically, but how much lacrosse were you playing growing up? Was it really big in Colorado?
Yeah, it's bigger in Denver, but not huge in the state of Colorado, so I definitely wanted to come out here because the competition is harder and more competitive. But yeah, it was definitely great to come out here, and we have better matchups and competition.
Do you remember what your biggest adjustment was when you arrived, whether it be on the field, off the field? Had you ever been to Maine before?
No, I'd never been to Maine before my Bates visit, but I don't know. I guess just having the ocean so close is different. But yeah, no, it's been great.
And your twin sister went to Hamilton,
yeah.
So how'd that all happen?
Well, my dad actually went to Hamilton,
okay.
So when we play each other, there's some bias. Yeah.
Is it fun to have that in-family rivalry?
Yeah, it is a lot of fun, but a lot of my cousins went to the NESCAC as well for athletics, so.
Great. And so this week in practice, what do you think some focus is going to be preparing for the weekend? Obviously, you have the midweek game as well, though.
I think we'll definitely working on our offensive movement as well as more high pressure on defense and figuring out an offensive plan for Middlebury on Saturday.
Annie Duke, our female Bobcat of the week. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
The number 11 nationally ranked Bates men's lacrosse team fell to number 3 RIT by a score of 9-7 on Saturday. Senior captain Clark Jones and sophomore Matt Lastava scored 2 goals each to lead Bates in a close contest at UMass Amherst. RIT rose to number 1 in the country after the game, while the Bobcats are now 14th in the nation. Bates plays its home opener this Wednesday against Babson. The Bates tennis teams went a combined 4-2 last week on their annual California trip to start the spring season. Bates particularly thrived at number 2 doubles, with the women's doubles team of first-year Hannah Sweeney and sophomore Lauren Hernandez going 3-0 on the week. Hernandez and Sweeney joined the Bobcast to talk about the keys to their early success.
Definitely communication. We flow really well on court together, but that communication in between points, during the point, we're really able to trust each other and depend on each other during the match.
And then, Hannah, as a first year, what's been some adjustments you've been making to the college game? You got to play, obviously, in the fall as well, but now here in the spring.
Yeah, well, our coach just really implements a culture of, playing without any fear and always bringing up the energy level. So that's something that's been really different for me with college doubles, and I think Lauren and I did a really good job with that out in California, and that's why we had a lot of success.
And to follow up on that, what made you decide you wanted to come to Bates for school?
Well, kind of as cheesy as it sounds, when I did my official visit here, I just kind of could picture myself here. I kind of had that feeling that I knew it was the right fit, and the girls on the team were all super welcoming, and I just knew that the team atmosphere was the kind that I was looking for.
And then, Lauren, as a sophomore, where did you apply from last year's experience as a first year to this season so far?
I definitely think that just keeping a positive attitude and growing throughout having the experience of last season, and now knowing what to expect and sort of upping my game, not only off on the court but mentally too. Working with the sports psychologist Jerry Lynch in California really helps out a lot, and just getting to know my teammates better has really helped me and everybody be successful for this season.
Yes, I'm interested in a first year's take on working with a sports psychologist. Have you ever done that before?
No, not necessarily in the same way that we did in California. I really enjoyed the time we spent with Jerry. I thought that he had a lot of really productive things to say, and I definitely felt like we used that a lot. He also just really emphasizes the team culture and making sure that everyone bonds and is comfortable, and I think that it just helped us get a lot closer out there, and it just showed in our cheering for each other and on court. Those things went a long way. And
then of the 3 matches you played out there in California in terms of doubles, what really stood out to you think?
I think our Pomona match was definitely our toughest. We were down 0-4 in the pro set, and we were able to come back, and I think we held at 6-6, had about a few deuce points, which was exciting, actually. And I think just our determination and just our grit out there really held us through and propelled us to be able to pull through a win. And I just think playing with Hannah is really great. We get along really well, and we were able to push each other to reach that final end result, which we both wanted.
Great. And then in high school, is it a similar format in terms of doubles and singles, or did you only play singles?
So high school tennis, I only played singles because that's how it works from where I come from. I did play USTA doubles matches, but they were kind of few and far between, so not nearly as much as what you do in college. So definitely mentally preparing for being more comfortable with doubles was something that I really worked on, and playing with Lauren has made me a lot more comfortable, and I think just long-term progress, it's helped out a lot.
You jumped right in at number 3 singles too, right? What's that experience been like?
It's been good, yeah. I'm happy that I've been able to make an immediate impact so far. It was really good energy out in California, and also just the overall culture. There's really not. There's more of an emphasis on playing without fear rather than being nervous. So I think as a freshman that's really comforting, because it can be a little overwhelming, your first team matches, but just knowing that you'll be rewarded for, going for things regardless of the outcome of the point or the shot, it gives you a lot more confidence.
Great. And then, Lauren, looking forward, what are some goals you've set maybe in your mind?
Well, I think just Hannah and I, for doubles, playing to the best of our ability. At this point, our team culture, as Hannah just said, it's not really about the wins or losses, but it's just about how hard you play and playing with that concept of no fear. So I really think just playing my game in singles and working on the little things that I can do to really make me proud of myself and for the team and represent Bates tennis the best that I can.
All right, Hannah Sweeney, Lauren Hernandez, thanks so much.
Thank you.
The men's doubles team of senior captain Josh Leiner and junior Josh Quijano went 3-0 at number 2 doubles as well. They are in their 3rd season playing together.
We just developed this chemistry that showed on the court, and the opponents felt it too. We just clicked, and things just worked out really well.
And Josh Leiner, what have you seen from the development?
Again, as Q just said, we're so comfortable on court together. I sort of know what he's going to do before he does it, and I think the same is true with Q, and that makes playing with him really easy. He's got no weaknesses in his game, and he really allows me to relax and bring out the best in my game.
And to follow up on that, in terms of doubles, what are some keys to a good doubles team in general?
Just to attack. Sometimes in singles, it's best to remain a little more passive, but doubles is very instinctual. And I think one advantage that Q and I have, having played together for so many years now, is that we sort of, again, know each other's games really well, which allows us to, bring out the best in each other.
And Q, any particularly memorable matches from over the last week of the 3?
Yeah, our match against Kalu, I've never seen Leiner play so well in my life. He was all over the net. I felt like I didn't have to do anything at all. It made me feel really relaxed, and then I think everyone on the team and the audience was like, wow, his playing unreal. So I think that's definitely one of the most memorable matches I'll remember.
Q and I actually, over the past couple of weeks, have talked a lot about strategy, and I think it all came together that match. But I've been joking my back was sort of hurting, so I was out of singles, but I think my back should hurt more often if I'm going to play like that.
And then I know you guys get to work with sports psychologist Dr. Jerry Lynch out there in California. What's that experience like for you each year?
So each year we always get something different from it. This year we were really focused on the present and staying in the moment, not worrying about the outcomes, and that's really helped us. It's before we were worried about winning and certain teams we should be winning against, but now it's just we go on the court, we're just doing us, and if things work out, they work out.
And then last year, obviously, you guys able to make the NESCAC tournament for the first time since you guys have been in school. And so what was that experience like, and how has it propelled you forward this year?
Really cool experience. Being in the postseason for the first time was really exciting. I think what we've learned from that experience is that it's bad to have expectations, as Q said. It's best to just sort of get 2% better every day and see where that leads us at the end of the season.
Great. And then, Q, looking forward kind of this year, what are some goals you've set maybe in your mind?
Well, in my mind, I think just take every day as that day. Don't think too far forward. We do have a really solid team this year, but if we set too high of expectations, we're going to put a lot of stress on ourselves and a lot of pressure, and we don't want that. We just want to every day do our process, and that's been our thing, and we had a successful California trip, so I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, and that trip, obviously, the team gets a big house, right? What's that experience like?
It's a lot of fun. You get to know a lot of your teammates better, even the ones you've been on the team with for several years, and it's a great opportunity to meet the newcomers as well. You're cooking together, you're going in the pool. It's everything. It's a great experience.
Follow up on you being one of the captains along with Ben. What's that experience been like so far?
It's been a lot of fun. Ben is a great person to be a captain with. He's a natural leader. I think being a captain of this team has been really easy because it's a great group of guys who all buy into the culture. And, sort of having been on the team for 3 years, I feel like Ben and I have a really good perspective about what we need to do and how we need to act, and I think everybody's done a great job.
Q, you're up there now, number 2 singles. What's that been like so far?
It hasn't been too much of a difference. My mentality has been steadily the same. I think I grew as a person, definitely mentally-wise, but if I just keep everything the same, things work out, and if I don't think too much about where I'm playing at and instead just think about the game itself, I feel so much better about it, and I feel so much more confident going in. So whether I'm playing 5 or 2 singles, it doesn't matter. We're all on the court doing our thing.
All right, and then for you personally, Josh, looking back at the California trip, he mentioned the Cal Lutheran match being the most memorable. Is that the same thing for you?
Yeah, that was a great match. I had a lot of fun, and I certainly played really well. I really enjoyed our Pomona match because things were a little rocky early on. We were neck and neck with our opponents, who were quite good. And then we were sort of like joking with each other in the back of the court, and I think it allowed us to like loosen up a little bit. And that's the sort of thing that Q and I can do after playing together for 3 years, is that we like know which buttons to press and how to bring out the best in each other.
Now in California, you guys got to play outdoors, I assume. Now coming back to Northeast, probably indoors for a little bit. Differences, similarities for you?
No, the same game plan. Definitely just keep our eyes open. Like we got to be a lot more focused because balls are flying faster, but the same game plan, obviously. And as Leiner said, what we do best is that we know each other and we know which buttons to push. Like 2 years ago, I would not be telling him the things I would be telling him today, and he wouldn't be telling me the things he was telling me. Like during our Pomona match, he was like literally like he was saying, "Breathe, breathe, breathe," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I got it." But that definitely helped me through it, and like that's why we're such a good team, because we know each other so well.
And obviously the weather's great today, but I imagine some indoor matches coming up. Similar differences for you there?
Not really. We talk about playing the ball all the time in practice, not playing the team, not playing the surface. Just really excited to get after it.
All right, Josh, thanks so much.
Thank you.
The men's squash team defeated Colby but fell to Franklin and Marshall and Middlebury at CSA Team Nationals over the weekend. With both squash teams' seasons over, we sat down with head coach Pat Cosquer to look back on the year and to preview individual nationals coming up this weekend in Washington, D.C. We begin with the women and their program record for all NESCAC selections.
They've been really coming on strong lately. Obviously, Lutza and Vicky had a really strong fall as well, so they added to their win totals in the fall. But yeah, recently we've just come on pretty strong and finished this season, the way that we expected to, and I'm just really proud of those 4 women and the other 6 for all the hard work and commitment they put in all winter.
Well, Eliza, after she took the fall off, came back in January, only lost 1 match. I mean, how good has she been? And now she's going to play at individual nationals, right?
Yeah, she's a rock star. She lost 1 match, even that one. I mean, I think she probably could have won that one, and she wants to have that one back. But yeah, she has a bright future. I mean, when she's healthy, she's one of our best players, no question. And the top 6, 7. I mean, they all can beat each other on any given day, and we're in a good position to continue to put some wins together for a couple of years here.
I found it kind of amusing at the Walker Cup, where the headline on the college squash website was Bates upsets Tufts. I mean, that was the 3rd time you beat Tufts this year, right?
Yeah, don't get me started. we were the 3rd seed behind the 2 seed who we had beaten twice in the past 10 days,
right.
And then the 2 seed had beaten the 1 seed the weekend before. So we knew that if we played the way that we were supposed to, that we would probably win the division, and that's what happened. And it's hard sometimes. We talked about this as going in, knowing that if you play the best you can, you're going to win, and almost expecting to win is almost sometimes harder than where we usually are, or where we sort of tend to be at Bates is, the sort of the underdog and, coming from behind and fighting and then winning in the end. We were sort of the odds-on favorite. So that makes you a little bit nervous as a coach, but, the women had been putting together some really nice matches. Even the losses we talked about it, the loss to Brown, the loss to Williams and Middlebury, the loss to GW, those are some really good teams, and they'd been playing really well. So we knew that if we put it all together, we would win 3 matches and finish the season that way, and that's what happened.
Now, for individual nationals coming up, who's going to be participating for the women?
So the 4 are Katie Manchernak, and then Eliza, Vicky, and Lutza are going down there. And all at this point are into the draw. I think maybe Katie and Eliza might be on the waiting list. I can't remember exactly, but we'll know in the next couple days here. And Lutza should have a pretty high seed in the B draw. And, if she plays the way that she's been playing, she'll have a shot to be an All-American, which would be incredible. And she deserves it. She was close last year. She was 1 match away last year. And she could do it if she really wants to. And the draw sets out the way that it might. She'll have a real shot.
I remember a couple of years back going to individual nationals. One of our players at that point, Darius, said that half the battle, or almost all the battle, is wanting it more than your opponent at that point, because a lot of people are burned out, right?
Totally. It's really about who wants to be there and who wants to win. It's a little bit of a head trip because we talk every day, all day about the team and finishing strong for the team and playing for each other and all that. And then, that stops. And then you sort of put the same uniform on and you're really just competing for yourself. There's really no team points involved. There's really nothing that goes into it as far as Bates is concerned, other than just the pride of putting the uniform on again. And so you're really just playing for yourself and your ranking and your rating and all that stuff. So it's a little bit of a head trip, being this far into the season. I mean, everyone's tired, everyone's banged up, nobody's at 100%. When you get to those Saturday afternoon matches, there might be a party on the college campus, and some of the other guys are doing that. And if you just kind of stay focused and continue to take care of your body and work hard and fight, good things will happen. And that's what we've seen in the past. We've always had good individual matches with our team, and I expect the same this weekend.
Yeah, I recall a couple individual national titles recently. Well, speaking of men's squash, obviously the Summers Cup, Franklin, Marshall, Middlebury, some tough opponents you guys ran into, right? Yeah. We had a really good, fun week. The guys went down to Chelsea Piers in Connecticut and trained and stayed with some families and ate some good food and slept and hung out. And it was a little disappointing, obviously, to run into the buzzsaw of Middlebury yesterday. That's always tough to lose to them. And F&M, they played really well on Saturday. I feel like they really wanted to beat us after they came all the way up here, and we put it on them pretty good. So, it's disappointing to lose. We don't like to lose. We're not very used to it. At the same time, Middlebury and F&M deserve a lot of credit for the way that they played. They fought really hard all the way to the end, and it's not an excuse, but our schedule is kind of tricky. We were supposed to play at 6:30 on Friday night. We got on the court at about 7:45 p.m. We got out of the building at 11 o'clock, and then had to do it again the next day. And both Friday and Saturday, we were following. Our match was after Trinity played, and being at Trinity when Trinity plays Princeton and Harvard and St. Lawrence is it's a show. It's an absolute show. It's about the pinnacle of college squash, and so we kind of got sucked into that. I don't blame. I did too. Everyone sort of sits there and watches in awe and amazement at two of the best teams in the country playing each other, and then we have to kind of snap out of it, get back into our huddle, warm up, and play a really good team on our level, and that's challenging to do. We're a young team. We've battled some focus issues all year, and I'm not blaming anyone. It just we fought about as hard as we could, and F&M and Middlebury just came up a little bit stronger than we did. Well, St. Lawrence gave Trinity a scare there, didn't they?
Yeah, they probably should have won that match. We have friends on both sides, so I'm not going to say who we were rooting for, but we watched it basically until we had to stop watching it, and it looked like St. Lawrence was going to win there for a while. I know they were devastated to lose, and in fact, a couple guys couldn't even play on Sunday for St. Lawrence. So, Trinity is just, we're lucky to have them in our conference because they push us, and we obviously Paul Asianti, the coach, and I are good friends, and we share a lot of trade secrets and all that, and it's just it's great to have them in our conference because I think it elevates our status and stature. And it pushes our guys. We talk about Trinity a lot. We don't necessarily want to be like them, but we talk about them, and we sort of emulate some of the things that they do for sure.
And then for the men, 2 all-NESCAC selections, Mahmoud and Ani. Pretty cool to see Ani get all-NESCAC as a senior.
Yeah, Ani, I say this a lot. Ani, his freshman year, didn't even make the traveling team to nationals, and for that to happen in our program, for him to come all the way through the way that he did, to be the senior captain, winning his matches at the end, fighting. He's had some amazing matches where he has fallen and gotten hurt in the first game or the second game, and you think he's done, and he rolled his ankle, broke his leg, whatever, gets back up and wins the match. On Saturday against F&M, he twisted his knee. Was it Saturday? It might have been Friday. I can't even remember. Twisted his knee, down again for another 5 minutes or so, gets back up, stretches it out, goes on to win the match. He's a warrior, and it's really cool to see that. That's all him. That's not coaching. That's not practice. That's just him and his spirit and his work ethic to just kind of mentally block all the other stuff out and win for the boys. And that's what he does. That's his motivation for the team, and that's what you want from the captain.
Will we be seeing him at individual nationals?
Yes, okay. Yes. Mood, Ani, Coley, Graham, and McLeod. Okay. Did I feel like... Oh, Omar, too. Did I say Omar? Yeah, the top 6 guys. So hopefully all 6 get in. At this point, Mahmoud is in. I would expect that Graham and Omar get in. Hopefully Coley, McLeod, and Ani. But either way, it's a fun event. We're going all the way down to D.C. Some of the kids have never been to Washington, D.C. I think that's great that we're able to, sort of pay for them to go down and see the nation's capital. And, maybe we can affect some change down there and, play some good squash. It'll be a fun event, and I'm just looking forward to being with them for one more weekend.
The baseball team had a tough start to its year, going 0-6 in California. The Bobcats have some time before they try to bounce back, starting March 10 when they take on Worcester State in a doubleheader. And the skiing teams combined to finish 8th out of 15 teams at the NCAA Regionals hosted by Middlebury over the weekend. We will have a full preview of the NCAA Skiing Championships next week on the Bobcast. Plus, the lacrosse teams get NESCAC play underway against Middlebury, and Bates track and field athletes get one more chance to qualify for nationals. We will recap all that and more next time on the Bates Bobcast.
Bates, 5 billion,